Welcome to the Lone Machinist podcast, the podcast where it's just you, your tools, and the work. No team, no backup. I'm Jamie from JSpec Engineering, and every episode we're tackling the highs and lows of flying solo in the machining world.
And I'm Curt from Confounded Machine, here to chat about everything it takes to make it as a one-man show in the shop. From grinding and turning to the struggles of running a one-person operation, we're sharing the stories, the tricks, and the challenges that come with going it alone.
If you're out there in the shop grinding away by yourself, or just thinking about taking a solo plunge, this show's for you.
So throw in your ear protection and let's talk about life behind the machine.
Good morning, Curt. Yeah, good morning, Curt. How are you doing this morning? Sorry, the schedules, it's confusing now.
Good evening, Master Jamie. I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I woke up late, but then anyway, had a long day in the workshop. Had to go through to site quickly this afternoon, and then had Carl, my cousin's boyfriend, over to start the Titan 1M, the Titan's building blocks course with me. So
cool.
He modeled that god-awful drawing. You would swear someone at Autodesk drew it. And that's a dig at Autodesk because I did their CAD challenge at IMTS. And the drawing was atrocious. Like, you had to add dimensions up to get sizes for the model. It was just horrible. Didn't stop me from absolutely smoking them. But it was a bit tedious. So anyway, he modeled that up today while I ran the Slowio and the LK this evening. And then, had Bertha and the MCO running today. So
I saw your story with all the lights. I was like, ooh, lots of machines running. Good for the gram.
We'll get into some of that stuff later because I actually have a topic. Let's bait people. The topic is regarding retrofits and DIY machines, the pros and cons to those, because both of us have have those machines, and we also have proper machines now. So I think it would be an interesting thing to dive into a bit later on in the podcast.
Also, I feel like that's like
from Instagram regarding that.
Oh, nice. I feel like this is like heroin addicts telling people how good heroin is. Like, this is not a good idea.
It's a great idea. I love it. Anyway, so what have you been up to? What have you been up to this week?
Not much. Started my week here, so just getting into the machining plan today. It's going to be just a crap ton of finishing, so my eyes and hands and fingers are going to bleed from finishing. That's the one thing I have to get better at automating is my finishing process, because I don't want to. I mean, tumbling, that's easy, but like doing satin finishes on all my parts is just so laborious. But I haven't found a way to easily automate that. So it's definitely a bottleneck in my batch size. I can't physically finish more pens than X amount. I'm still not there, but I'm approaching it, and that's just going to be like carpal tunnel land. So I don't know. Might just have to make more tumbled versions, but I do like the satin version. So I don't know. That's my world. What
does the satin version entail? Is it Scotch writing?
It's nothing. Yeah, it just basically machined like off the machine as good as I can possibly get them, and then it's just I lightly basically wet sand every single part just to give it a grain. But even a silly nice finish off the machine, it's just like a part. You take a part and you stone a part, you immediately see all the inadequacies. And same thing like when you do a high polish, quote unquote high polish finish, it just pulls out any kind of errors in machining. So it's just tedious, and I can't find a way to do it without. I mean, I can make jigs and stuff that kind of make it easier on the hands, but it's still like a very hands-on procedure. So I don't know.
Okay, that's tedious.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll find a way. Maybe I'm still looking into like vapor honing. I think that'll produce a really nice finish. It's still laborious, but it's a bit easier to automate. So I don't know.
You're gonna go the Danny Rudolph route. Have a robot.
Absolutely.
Putting it in and out one time. That's the best.
Absolutely.
Literally my favorite. I don't know that I'll do it with a robot, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a robot, it's like if you have a hammer, everything's a nail. So if you have a robot, everything is a robotic operation. So yeah, it's cool. I like what he does.
Yeah. He's not going to pay someone to do it, and he's sure as hell not going to stand and do it.
Yeah, and it's like I argue that's the most boring thing you can do is blasting. Like just putting things in blasting cabinets is just like the most dumb brain dead work you'll ever do. So I get why you'd want to automate that. It's tedious.
Yeah, I was doing brain dead stuff this evening. I don't know if you saw.
Fun.
The Slowio was back in action.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Bullet connectors for the first time in 6 months. I made 600 of them in November, and that is all that they've taken since then. They meant
Wow.
to be
Okay.
taking 300 of them a month. It's a little tedious.
Oh, making 300 of those would be. I mean, doing the
Oh no,
machining wouldn't
300
be
of them
bad, but
literally takes an hour and a half. I stand there with podcast and I just load and go. It's
right.
quick,
And
quick.
yeah,
It takes me longer to
tedious.
reload. Yeah, tedious, but it takes me longer to reload than to do the actual cycle.
Yeah. Fair.
But it doubles as a QC in the process as well. So make sure the threads are good because it threads into the little arbor.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the doing slow-io things today. It was great.
It's still earning its keep. That's
Well,
good.
that is the only reason that machine's still around is that one job.
Hmm.
Because there's no way in hell that's going on the LK. Like it's
Yeah.
just
No.
never happening. Like no. So even with the pallet system, like if I could maybe batch a bunch, but the thing has to index 90 degrees. So I would need a giant rotary concoction, which I could
Mhm.
make, but do I really want to go down that rabbit hole?
Yeah.
And
No, I
again,
get
how
you.
many parts? Like 10 parts. Woo! It's
Right. Yeah.
10 parts, and then it just gets overly complicated. So it does the thing. So it'll be left to do the thing.
Cool. I
But
see you having
yes.
giant bold font boats.
Yeah, boats. Yeah,
How's
you
your
saw.
Fisher Price
Yeah,
boat going?
so I sent a picture to my one mate Dave, and he asked me how long did it take to print. Was his first question. But yeah, we went on Sunday again. So it's actually I'm really enjoying that. Going on a Sunday morning, we ended up spending 6 hours on the water, and it's a disconnect entirely from work. It's something I've been really
Right.
battling with, and now I made a fish finder mount out of one of the ball lock units I made. I made a giant LiPo battery.
Oh, okay. Explain.
I'm not sure. It's between 38 amp hours and 60 amp hours. I don't know because I don't know the donor battery specs. And the donor battery is available in 19 amp hours through 30 amp hours.
Okay. Okay.
So I got in there and made myself a 3S2P pack
Mhm.
out of half the battery, and I've got another half the battery to make another 3S2P pack to run my trawling motor. I ran,
Nice.
we literally drag raced up and down the dam between the two boats, the trawling motors. And when I put it on charge, I was at about 45% capacity still
Oh,
after
okay.
6
Okay.
hours of stuffing around. So it's perfect. It weighs 3.2 kilos. So it weighs nothing, like 6 pounds. You pick it up
Right.
with one hand, throw it on the boat, and go. It's not a 40-pound lead acid battery.
Yeah.
But I ended up taking a drive, so a 30-minute drive down to Dave so that he could spot weld one of the battery tabs for me. So it
Mm.
had a big distribution board on the top, and I took an angle grinder to that. And then I had, because it was now 14 series, I had to cut the one battery tab and then put a new nickel strip on. I couldn't solder to the stuff. I think it's an aluminium, not a nickel strip. Anyway,
Mm.
went there, he spot welded to it for me, and then I drove half an hour back. So literally an hour in the car for 5 minutes work so that I could solder it all up to the BMS. And yeah, I now have a fancy battery that's a tad of
Ooh.
a fire hazard. It literally sat in the driveway charging on Saturday night because I wasn't letting the
Yeah.
thing be in the workshop. Like, not a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like a giant. Yeah.
it's off an agricultural drone. So yeah,
Oh,
giant
cool.
battery. Yeah, Dave actually had a chassis from one that burnt out. It landed,
Mm.
the thing caught fire. The guy ripped it off and threw it, and it melted down, like melted the aluminium case.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's friggin' sweet. Like it weighs nothing, and I didn't have to really. I spent. Oh, what did I spend on it? Oh, that's actually something else we need to discuss on the podcast. It was like $10 for a BMS. So
Wow.
really
Nice.
not bad. Like 60 amp BMS does the thing. But anyway, yeah, boats are fun. I have a giant orange one, and it's awesome. I can drag it and not give a shit what it's going over because it's never going to get a hole in it.
That's cool.
Like the only way you're going to put a hole in that thing is with a drill. Like you could go over gravel road with it and drag it, and it's not going to get a hole in it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the dream. But yeah, it as a one man boat, there's some issues. We'll address those in the coming weeks. We're going to 3D scan it so that I can design all the stuff I want to add to it in 3D, like all the subflooring and hatches and
Cool.
stuff, and then just have it
Cool.
laser cut at my mate's place out of 1/2 inch ply and sorted. Yeah,
That's
make my
cool.
life as easy as possible. Like I was chatting to my brother about it today. He's like, no, that's really sweet that you can have a model and you can design all the stowage and stuff and then just have it laser cut and knock it together.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, the joys of knowing people with 3D scanners and having some CAD skills.
That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah,
It's what a magical world we live in. Yeah.
we do live in a magical world. Speaking of magical worlds, why does pixel size not matter as much as we think?
Okay, so after listening to our podcast last week, I was like,
Mm,
interesting. I'm going to deep dive more into this because, like, how come some printers print better than other printers when it should be equated to
yeah,
pixel size? So I went on a big deep dive and started reading about this because arguably some of the best resin prints coming off machines for CAD models, I'll preface it with that. I'm not talking
yeah,
about like miniatures, but for like actual models to size, are probably coming off the form machines, like the form one,
yeah.
2, 3, 4, whatever. They just seem to produce fantastic results. The pixel size on the form machines varies from 50 to 85 micron. So the pixel size on
Interesting.
those machines is huge, but it has a lot more to do with cutoff, and there's all kinds of weirdness of like like masked LCDs, which is
Yeah,
like every resin printer out there, casting shadows. So yeah, their pixel might be 20 microns, but they're probably casting like a 60 micron shadow, and you don't get sharp cutoffs. And like some of that actually plays well to miniatures because you want smooth, like you typically don't
yeah.
want like razor sharp
You don't want to
edges
see
on
the
miniature.
voxels. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. You kind of want like a bunch of aliasing, and it's kind of just naturally putting alias on things. But yeah, I couldn't figure it out. And then, so yeah, I just read a ton about it. But yeah, there's so many factors at play that it's not just basic pixel size. Um, yes, because it kind of had me confused because I'm like, well, my printer, I looked it up and it is 50
yeah,
micron. And I'm like, well, how come it's printing better than like some other printers that I've had other people
yeah,
print me samples, and I'm like, these are coming off printers that have half the pixel size, but the print is shittier. Like the text isn't as crisp, and yeah, it's
yeah.
all due to there's so many factors at play. But
I
yeah,
think it also
so
comes down to competence. So I was down
yeah,
again at Dave, and he's got my Anycubic Photon Mono 2.
mhm,
That oak went down a rabbit hole. He's now designing his own supports in CAD, so he doesn't have to deal with Anycubic supports. And it's
proper.
he's printing his parts. Like actually, I have a picture to send you. Also, Dave, this part of the podcast is specifically for you because I know you're going to go down a freaking rabbit hole as well. But yeah, he's getting some beautiful prints off that printer. Like he's in love with that thing. He's
Nice.
finishing off the bottle of Creality ABS like resin that I gave him, and then he's switching over to the Anycubic ABS like resin because it's just plain better and cheaper.
Yeah. Well, and like you
Um,
said, it
but yeah,
boils down to competency too, like how well you
oh
do
yeah,
like there's so many factors at play. Like it's not apples to apples. It's like apples
no,
to
not even
rocks.
close. So Dave sent out a whole lot of stuff to printing in the past, and the quality of the stuff. He's like, were they drunk? Now that he's actually gotten into it, he's on. He's like, were they drunk? Did they just take it out the box and assume everything would work? How would they let that leave their shop? Like, what the hell? Like he had.
Mhm.
Speaking of Fisher Price, his little Fisher Price car, the
Oh yeah, yeah,
little he
yeah,
had
yeah.
something that looked like that for the top of a drone. It was a camera mount or whatever, and he was TPU printing them. His prints were coming out beautifully. He sent them off to someone to print. Utter garbage. Thought, oh, let me get a
Mhm.
resin printed. The thing is meant to have like a 2 mil wall thickness. It ended up being like 6 millimeters in some spots because the
Ooh.
resin pooled and it was a translucent resin, so it just kept curing
Oh,
because
okay,
they didn't
yeah.
have their settings dialed in properly. Like, yeah,
Right,
the level of
yeah.
incompetence is absolutely insane. Oh,
Yeah.
Curt, you need to look at your phone quickly.
All right. Are you sending me
I sent you some pictures so you can judge Dave harshly.
Judge Dave? Oh, this
Yes.
is a lot of things to see. Oh, that's a sick looking
While you
drone though.
while you think,
Oh, that looks cool.
yeah. So that's the craft he's been working. I made all the aluminium bits for him. But yeah, he
Oh,
made all
okay.
those brackets and stuff on the resin printer. So he's
Oh,
gone
nice. Oh,
into like he was printing them on FDM. Now he's just like nah, resin printer. He's printing like I think he said it was point 1 wall thickness or something stupid. Like super
wow.
thin parts because obviously it flies. It needs to be
Right.
light. Like, but yeah, for his
That's
application, it's perfect. Like
that's a pretty looking drone too. All carbon
it
fiber and aluminum and
is.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's freaking beautiful. Like it is.
Yeah.
You can't really get your electronics any smaller without rolling your own. Like as far
Yeah,
as
yeah,
off the
yeah.
shelf components, this thing is optimized to high hell. Do you like the heatsink on the bottom?
I do, yeah. I
It's
do.
very spiffy. That's actually the battery rail. He made it
Oh
bigger
yeah,
so that it wouldn't look stupid because it uses 18650s, and they actually like
gotcha.
click in and lock into place. It's really sweet. I'll make sure I get some pictures when he's done with it eventually.
Oh yeah,
He
please
actually
do.
was meant to
Yeah,
test fly over the weekend. I must harass him tomorrow and see how it went.
nice.
Because I was down there on Saturday, and he said test
Hmm.
flights either Saturday evening or Sunday morning. So we'll see.
Is that going to be a quad, or is it going to be like an
It's a
eight
quad.
motor
No,
quad, or
just a quad.
just four motor?
Yeah. Um, it's basically an aerial platform. He's got different payloads for it, but
Hmm.
the previous iteration was weatherproof. Like put it up in the rain, it doesn't care. It's waterproof.
Hmm.
This one a bit less waterproof, but it's just a cost-effective aerial platform with HD downlink and all the fancies like autopilot and all that
Cool.
garbage. And
Cool.
he's got a very heavy payload on it now. It's an infrared payload, but it's a little outdated. But
Hmm.
those things are stupid expensive, so he's using the one
Yeah.
he's got. Like he
Fair.
got given it or lent it by somebody, and yeah, like it was on his previous version as well. I mean, Danica flew the thing. You literally pick
Oh,
up the
cool.
here link. It's got a tablet. You throttle up, it takes off, and then it just flies. Like it's super easy to
Hmm.
fly. And we're playing with the
Nice.
HD downlink, looking at people walking in the road and things. But yeah, all those fun bits and pieces of aluminium I got to machine for him, and then I have fixtures for when he decides to. Well, when he does start selling them this time, he can have them manufactured locally,
Sick.
which is
Yeah,
always
that
fun.
looks cool.
Yeah.
Looks
So,
cool.
how are you heating your resin? I'm quite curious.
So for the longest time, I was being super like. Now that I want to give this resin printing a fair shake before I totally dismiss it and go to machining Delrin for these little weird widgets I'm making. Because if I can print them out of resin, I can literally offer this thing at a much more reasonable price for people, and then I can have more expensive versions. So I want to
Sure.
heat the resin. In the past, I've just been using a heat gun to like heat the bath up to whatever 30 degrees because these resins print better at like 30, 35 degrees. So I've just been heating it like that, and then once it gets printing, it's usually fine.
Yeah.
But it's like this is tedious. I do not like this. So I bought just like one of those in chamber heaters that just sit right inside your printer,
Oh,
and then you just
okay.
turn it on like an hour before you print. Because my vat is plastic and it's like double walled, so like getting a vat heater is
Mm.
tedious. There's a cool company out of the EU that made one that goes like right in the vat, but
Oh, okay.
I don't want to wait like weeks to get it, so
Yeah.
just picked up one of these, and
I
yeah, I'm
have
gonna give
another
it a
stupid
good work.
suggestion.
What's that?
Could have used a terrarium heating pad and then just put a piece of
Uh,
aluminium on that and placed your vat onto that.
how would it come through though? Oh, you
Through the
mean just
aluminium, through the resin,
heat?
through the FEP film and straight into the resin on the bottom.
No, not the heat, the light, but you mean just heat
Yeah.
it
Oh no,
before
no,
and then
the
take it off.
aquarium. Sorry, the terrarium heaters. It's literally like a tinfoil pad that you plug into the
Yeah,
wall, and it just
yeah,
gets. It's got a built-in regulator. It sits at like 30 degrees.
right. But you can't
Because
print with it.
no,
Yeah,
no, no, it would
yeah,
just be for prepping your resin, and then
yeah.
the resin printing's exothermic, isn't it? The
It is. Yeah,
going from monomer to polymer.
yep, yeah.
Okay,
That's why you
so that would
typically don't
keep
have to worry
temperature.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, typically don't have to. But I mean, it's a small printer, so it actually doesn't generate a ton of heat even from printing. So I usually
Yeah.
start losing heat as it goes.
Is
But
your workshop not temperature controlled?
it is. But I keep it like right now. I keep it like 20 in here because it's
Oh
summer
yeah,
and
okay,
it's hot.
comfortable temperature.
Yeah, and then the printer wants like it would print better
Yeah.
with that thick blue resin. It'd print better at like 35 degrees. So yeah,
Okay.
just crank it
Just
up.
do what Ben did from Black Fox.
What's? Oh yeah, I thought about it. But I don't want to heat the whole like assembly up either. Like I want
Yeah,
the projector to stay cool, but I want the yeah. Anyways, it
yeah,
was like $70 Canadian, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just try it, and
yeah. I'll
if
give
it
it a
doesn't
bash.
work, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, not the end of the world.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we're on the 3D printing topic, I made
Hmm.
buttons.
That that is a very big
So
button.
it's got three push buttons on the bottom because these push buttons are horrible quality and are not
Okay.
super reliable. So they're all in parallel. So wherever you hit it, it triggers. This thing got beaten last week at the quiz night. So now I'm busy printing another 8 of them to
Yeah, they're huge. Like I would beat that too.
100 grams of filament each. Printing them in PETG now. So if the guy leaves them in his car, it's not a problem. Whereas if it's PLA, they're going to melt. So that's
Right.
tomorrow's endeavor. These will be done printing, and then I'll transplant all the electronics in, cut the acrylic discs, and sorted. But
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
designed to be printed without support. So like little tapers on
Smart.
there, and even the back of the holes there. There's tapers. Like yeah, quite a lot of effort went into making that easy to print. Number 5 is on
Nice.
the printer in the background, and then as
Mm.
soon as the 8 of these are done, I'm printing tool tags in silver PETG.
Yeah, I can hear your little power supply going. Woo,
Yeah, every time the bed
woo.
turns on,
Yeah.
yeah, the fan turns on the power supply automatically. Yeah,
Sick. Cool. So what do you have going
uh,
on here?
yeah.
Did
Let's
you get
yeah.
so did you get hidden in your workshop in the dark again?
I did. We have a
Nice.
button programmed now, but so
Oh, okay.
okay. So when I got the fiber last week, I just hooked up I moved my mesh network around, and since then it's been endless cuck with Home Assistant. It'll connect to the internet, won't connect over the local network. So eventually got that resolved. It was an RP issue and a DHCP issue on the one router. Still have an issue with the router in the office, but I know how to fix that tomorrow because I disabled DHCP on my old router, which is acting as a network switch. Anyway, got that sorted. But then this morning I was busy warming up machines, and I don't know, I kicked something and tripped the power. Not entirely sure what happened, but tripped the breaker or earth leakage. And then when I reset, my Home Assistant's light controller wouldn't come on, like wouldn't connect to the network
Mm.
for the whole freaking day. And then yeah. Then I ended up at my neighbor. I'm like, hey, bro, I need a button on this thing. So I went there. We're busy looking, trying to figure out how to do this. He's like, hang on, open ChatGPT, put it in ChatGPT, problem solved. So that's now
Nice.
implemented, except there's no button. I need to still add the actual physical button to the light controller unit tomorrow. But then I will be able to hit it with a broom because it's up on the wall. Hit it with a
Mhm.
broom and it'll toggle the state of the relays. So in the event that the network is down, I can boop it to turn it on and boop it to turn it off.
Nice.
Yeah, so
And
that got
to,
implemented.
to all the people saying that if you just had a light switch on the wall, it would do the same thing, you can go straight to hell because that's not what we
Uh,
want to do.
my light switch on the wall doesn't respond when I say enable Iron Man mode.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, that's my morning routine. Walk in, enable Iron Man mode. Obviously, put the keywords in front, but yeah, enable Iron Man mode. And when I leave, it's disable Iron Man mode. And it brings me great joy.
It's the little things.
Yeah, my compressor is going to get put onto that shortly. That's one of the things on my list there.
Mm.
I need to sit with ChatGPT and program the compressor controller for a customer, and I need to machine the boxes and weld them up this week because that's getting invoiced tomorrow. So I need to deliver it this week still for them. But then, yeah, gonna have a compressor controller that will get turned on by ChatGPT, so that I can have my compressor staying in a much narrower air pressure band, and also lead lag and all the fun stuff like that. At
Yeah.
least on my one. On their one, it's just it's a compressor with a head that's super cheap to replace. It's a 3 piston, just normal belt driven compressor because it's in their factory and they don't really care. That if the head goes, they go buy a new one and they're up and running in like 3 hours. But it's meant to run on a 2.2 kilowatt motor. They've got a
Okay.
3.7 or a 4.5 kilowatt motor on it. It's like
Oh, nice.
super
Okay.
oversized. It starts under full load. It doesn't care. And it's three
Nice.
phase. It just goes. So yeah, I've got to go get that all hooked up for them because they can run their whole shop on that. The issue they're having is relying on their compressor. The pressure switch turns on too late and off. It turns off at like 8 or 10 bar, but it turns on too late. Some of the presses don't like it. That's why they want the
Mm.
tighter band on the pressure.
Mm.
I went there today to go pick up a bin for my shavings because Bertha is full of shavings. So I have nowhere to put them anymore. So I went and picked up a big tote. I'm going to fill it up tomorrow morning, and then I've got to go to a meeting there. So I'll go dump off all my mixed and steel shavings, and then come back and then go back there with all my aluminium shavings in the afternoon.
Exciting.
Because
Lots of driving.
again, yeah, going to be a couple 100 kilos. At least they're not too far. They're like 15 minutes away. So it's not the end of the
Oh,
world. Also, I don't
yeah.
think the shavings are going this week. So like, I don't have to get the aluminium ones there tomorrow. I just want to get the steel ones out of my workshop and the mixed. So that's the main priority for tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Cool.
And
Cool.
then yeah, other than that, I've been knocking out all the small jobs. I've had stuff sitting in the
Mhm.
workshop for like 6 months. It literally took me 10 minutes. Set the job
Yeah.
up, run it, and it's just in my mind, it's a freaking mountain. So I'm busy running through all of those. Like today, I made 13 case gauges. The LK ran all morning with no lights, while while I ran Bertha and the MCO.
Nice. It's nice to
Yeah.
get rid of those stupid little like time
Oh yeah.
sucks.
And it's not even a freaking time suck. It's just in my mind, it's a mountain, when in reality, it's a molehill. And yeah,
Right.
the mental inertia thing is a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. I get that.
Actually, Carl called me out today for it. He's like, no, that ADHD people like to work with a lot of pressure. I'm like, yeah. If it wasn't for the last minute, nothing would ever get done.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
What's that thing? If you need something done, give it to a busy person or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like exactly. Yeah.
No, that's it. Like I'm like, no, I'm fucking lazy. He's like, no, you're not lazy. You just don't have motivation to do it. I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's no dire need for me to do it, so why would I do it?
Yeah, exactly. Do it at the 9th hour. Yeah, just like
Yeah, 100%.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, under pressure.
Yeah, the
It's the
best way to
way.
do things.
Yeah. Like, it makes it more fun that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple stupid things to do on the lathe tomorrow, and then yeah, a bunch of random stuff in the workshop at the moment. It's a bit annoying. Also, month end is creeping up on us rather rapidly.
Oh, I know. It always
Yeah.
comes so fast. I know.
Well, yeah, this month's been interesting cash flow wise. Like, yeah, I don't know what's happening with all the customers. It's getting a bit tedious, but I will light a fire under them. They're getting the big customers getting a price increase now because brass has gone up in price. So
Mm.
I think after like 2.5, 3 years, they can get a price increase. And if they
Yeah,
cry about it,
especially
they can go somewhere else, especially considering they like placing stupid orders with me now.
well, especially with the last 2 or 3 years of entailed, like it's been
Yeah.
all kinds of interesting things in the world. So,
Yeah,
oh
well,
boy.
speaking of that, we sent out an update on the anchor point today to all the people who signed up for the newsletter. And one of the things in there was from the beginning of next month, we will be adjusting the anchor point price if there's any major fluctuations in the rand dollar, because we're manufacturing in rands, and every time I look, the dollar is dropping. So I don't want to be in a position where I'm making them for free.
Right. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It makes sense.
yeah, so there might be some fluctuation coming on those pricing or on that pricing. But yeah, while we're on that topic, there are 4 units available for anyone who wants to pick one up, because we're not starting on batch 2 until batch 1 is gone. Just cash flow reasons and whatnot.
No,
So
probably a
that's
wise
all. Yeah,
idea. Yeah.
yeah. Like I don't want to sit with 24 of the things instead of 4. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
trying to be a responsible adult, it's horrible.
Oh, I know. It's so much easier just to do things on the
Yeah.
whims of what you want to do. Yeah, I
Well,
get
that's
it.
what I
I
did
get it.
last year, and now I'm reaping the benefits of it. Every spare cent was buying tools or investing in equipment, and yeah, now we're sitting with customers not placing orders and thinking, "Oh, cock, I shouldn't have done that." But is what it is. You live and you learn. No point in
Yeah.
no point in being sad about what you did in the past. You did the right decision at the time, because if it wasn't the right decision, you wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or you wouldn't be here talking about it. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
exactly.
like fucking past Jamie was a dickhead. That is what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no doubt.
yeah, no point in being sad about it. It's not going to fix it. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, I'm very curious about the titanium helicopter main rotor.
Okay, so that was kind of fun. I have a local friend here. He's bought quite a few of my pens, and he hit me up and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "I have a bunch of titanium, like titanium scrap. Would you be interested in it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we kind of struck up a deal, and he was just going to give it to me, and I was like, "No, you don't have to give it to me. Like, I don't expect. I'm like, I'm probably going to turn it into something that I'm going to sell
Hmm.
for profit. So I don't want you to give me something and then see me turn around and sell it for a bunch of cash and just feel
Yeah.
weird about it." So I'm like, no, we'll work something out. So we worked something out. I mean, he took me some pictures. I'm like, and they were like big chunks of titanium. Like, I don't know, they're whatever. Like, we'll do it metric to keep everyone angry. Like probably 30 centimeters by maybe like 15 centimeters by
So
20
1 foot by 6 inches.
yeah, 1 foot by 6 inches by like maybe a half inch to a 1 inch to 3/4 inch to 1.5 inch thick, like big slabs of titanium. But they're like very very like organic shapes. Like they taper and they're all, because he asked, he's like, do you have a saw? I'm like, yeah, I can cut it up. He's like, hey, because he's like, they're weird shapes. He's like, but they're yours if you want them. And then he's like, I have one with the serial number on it. He's like, it's from a helicopter. So I looked up the serial number and it's Bell. I think Bell 412, so like a 412 helicopter. But thankfully, I could look up the whole serial number, and on Boeing's site, you can back look the serial numbers up, or sorry, the part numbers up to what specific part that is.
Oh,
And I
okay.
figured out all the parts he gave me are from the main rotor assembly on a Bell helicopter.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and I picked them up. I'm like, these don't feel like titanium. He's like, oh, I'm pretty sure they're titanium. And yeah, so I gave him an anodizing test, and they're 100% titanium. And just judging by where they were used, they're used in the main
Yeah.
rotor assembly. They're probably grade 5 too.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah,
what grade would they be? But yeah, probably grade 5.
pretty sure it'd be grade 5. I don't think they'd use grade 2. They definitely wouldn't be using like commercially
CP.
pure.
Hell no.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's grade 5. It feels like
Yeah.
kind of like from what it looks like. If I can say it feels like grade 5. Once I cut it, I'll know. But yeah,
Did you
so
do the bite test?
the
Ah,
bite
grade
test.
5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's good, solid gold. Yeah. Yeah. So
No,
I'm
that's
gonna turn him
yeah.
in. Well, like I'm gonna turn him into something, but there's one
Yeah.
because it still has the serial tag stamped into it. So I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
save that and just machine it into something cool. So you still have like that one.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna keep. I'm not gonna give that
Yeah.
piece away, but that's just kind of fun. It's just kind of cool seeing like, I don't know. It's just cool looking up the picture and being like, oh, that's exactly where it came from. And I sent him
Yeah,
the
that's
picture. I'm
quite
like, this
cool.
is where it came from. And yeah, this is kind of cool. I like getting stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. No, the cool bits and bobs.
Yeah. One of my
Yeah.
uncle, I'd say
Yeah.
my uncle flies helis. So he gave me a cross section of like a helicopter blade. So I got all
Okay.
kinds of weird little pieces of fun
Yeah.
manufacturing.
Yeah, my brother-in-law used to be a helicopter pilot, and then he
Hmm.
did an involuntary disco dance at work, and no longer a helicopter pilot. Yeah, had a
Hmm.
seizure because he had a brain tumor. But
Oh
yeah, he's
shit.
got no, it was great. Like we joke about it now, but yeah, it was a little serious. He was literally on his
Oh.
way to get in the helicopter to fly out to the oil buoy off Durban, and we've got video of it, like the security camera,
Oh.
fucking involuntary disco dance,
Whoa.
and then didn't want them to put him in the ambulance because he knew when he got put in the ambulance he was never flying again. Like his
Right.
whole
Yeah.
identity was being a pilot. From when he
Right.
was like 16, he got a job sweeping hangars, and for every like 8 hours he swept, he got 1 hour of flight time to build hours. Like that
Okay.
is
Yeah.
how, yeah. And then he went to the Air Force out of high school and was the main training guy for the Oryx and what's the other one? Shit. Anyway, for the SA military, it was the main training guy for the Oryx. Flip, it's going to bug me. Oh, and the Alouette. I actually
Mm.
flew an Alouette with him a few months ago after the whole brain tumor thing. So he's
Wow.
technically not allowed to be the pilot, but if his friends are pilots, he can fly. So we were
Mm.
flying. We went flying an Alouette 2 and went flying up. You can tell when you're flying when an Air Force guy's flying because the trees are above you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We were going down. We came down the river with the other guy flying. Then brother-in-law took the sticks and literally the trees were above us. We were going along the river.
Ugh.
It was insane. But yeah, no, I've flown a couple times with him. Flew his Boeing Stearman before he sold it. Obviously sold it because he couldn't fly it anymore.
Mm.
Yeah, I flew that with him from Springs to Krugersdorp. Krugersdorp's so creepy. You come in on approach and the runway's above you. It's up a hill. So you're
Oh,
literally coming in
wild.
and the end of the runway is above you. And then, yeah, you cruise up the hill
Cool.
to slow down. So, yeah, no, we've had lots of fun. And, yeah, did a bit of work on his Yak 55s. We put in smoke systems a few years ago. So I machined bits and bobs for that and then, yeah, wired them all into the Yaks. So I used to do aerobatics. Like he was, that was his thing. He was a pilot.
Mm.
And then, yeah, involuntary disco dance and no more piloting for him. He's actually going to Oshkosh now in July.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
he sold it. So his one mate's like, sell this airplane, I'll pay for your ticket to go to Oshkosh because he's selling airplanes now. And like a week later, he's like, cool, it's sold. It's like, yeah, he has a ticket to Oshkosh. So he's
Nice.
he went, I think, in 2005 with his dad and their one friend and did a whole tour of the US. But
Nice.
yeah, I've actually got a part for an airplane sitting downstairs that they need me to, it's for the oil system pickup. They need me to make a new one of because that one is so stripped and welded and duct taped that it leaks. So they want a new version of it.
Fair. It's kind of an important part. Yeah.
Kind of important. It's for when you go invert it to keep the oil flowing. It picks up from a different section. So I need to just actually CAD it up and then make it. So it should be fun. I like fun things like that.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So one thing I did learn this week is that smaller cutters and steel run really well.
Oh, explain.
So I was roughing with a 10 mil cutter and a 30 taper machine. And it does a good job, moved good couple kilos of material. And then I burnt it up, cutting tool steel. So I then bought an 8 mil and it ran friggin' beautifully till I decided to push it straight through a cap screw because I used a 3D adaptive and I was using a 10 mil, so it ignored the center hole. And then I switched to an 8, and then it's like, oh, we can shove this in here. And I didn't catch it.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
caught plunged right into the fucking bolt. And then I bought some 6 millimeter ones. So like quarter inch. Wow, they run beautifully. Obviously, a lot less load, similar material removal rates, but just runs nicely in the machine. If you don't need the length of cuts, then why use a bigger tool? They're
Right.
also
Yeah,
half
yeah,
the
yeah.
price. So I was roughing a whole bunch of tool steel out this week, and then finishing it with just a normal 6 millimeter 4 flute. But yeah, works freaking beautifully. So yeah, something I don't know, maybe help someone. Don't always have to go for the biggest tool available.
Were you adjusting the SFM for everyone, or were you just running the
Yes.
same? Like,
No, no.
okay, okay. So
So
it
I was using SFM off of the charts I have for my Saratoga, some funny brand that I use generally, and I got a RPM cheat sheet for that, and I use the RPMs off of there or the SFM off of there, and it's pretty good. It increased my tool life significantly. But yeah,
mm,
the 10 mil. So I've been running. So with my coolant ring, I noticed the cut was getting hot on the front side where it wasn't getting enough coolant. So I pulled one
mm,
of the lines back down just to properly wet it out for steel. For aluminium, it doesn't
mm.
really matter, but for steel, it matters apparently. So yeah, I fixed it
Oh,
with
it's
that
cool.
as well. But yeah, 6 mils, they run beautifully. Like it's a 30 taper machine. You can't go full tartan on it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you can, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It just
you can
you
for a
got to.
very limited time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like today I was punching 9.6 millimeter drills into 7075 at like feed per rev. Like just
Mm,
throwing shavings, putting what did I do? I did 600 odd holes today. So
that's
drill them
a
down
lot of
with that,
holes.
then drill them through with the 9.1, then ream them with the special tapered reamer, then just poke the burr out with the 9.1 again.
Mm,
But yeah,
mm, mm.
carbide drills are magic. Like I was doing
Yeah,
8,000 RPM. It was freaking amazing. And that's, yeah, it's a .378 drill. Don't know what that means in Imperialum, but yeah, just shy of 10 millimeters.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
drills are
right.
amazing. I
Oh, yeah, no, no.
I I baby my drills, but yeah, it's still
Yeah.
they're incredible.
I broke my .75 drill the other day again. I think a shaving got caught on it and I tugged and it broke. Although I drilled 100 holes with one this morning and it was fun. I was wearing my fancy glasses, my leopard
I
print glasses.
I saw those. They're very pretty. Yeah.
They're so pretty. Yeah, they're like 3.5 plus reading glasses so that I can actually see the freaking drill in the machine because I can't get my head close enough because the MCO is tiny. So what I do is I'll turn a pip. So I'll face down and then leave the little center pip and then I'll just eyeball it. And that gets
Yeah.
me close enough that I'll drill like 1,000 parts on a single drill bit.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but you need to be able to get close enough to see that shit. So yeah, my sexy glasses, which are really annoying. Like Danica came to ask me something, and I stood up. I looked at her. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not going to move because I'm going to fall over because
Right. Yeah.
it just no brain said no. Even looking at the screen is difficult, but I need them to be able to see that to align my centers.
Yeah.
Like I guess
I
I could
know.
do the whole slidey drill bush story, but me, I'm running brass.
I want like a pair of safety, like talking about all these like AR glasses and stuff coming out. I
Mm.
want a pair of glasses that have like zoom on them so that I can be working and they're normal, like they're like one to
Yeah,
one. But then when I want to zoom in, there's like shoo and give me like 4x or like 10x, so I can
go
like
go
look real
gadget
close.
zoom.
Yeah, totally. Go gadget zoom. I would wear them everywhere. I don't care what I look like. Like they would be so cool. Not that I have any need to zoom in life.
Yeah,
Whatever. Leave that topic, I guess. But it would just be so useful to like same thing because like I'm always trying to like And
Yeah.
actually, the worst one is the sile, trying to get my head into the sile. Like the lathe isn't bad, but the sile, just the way the tool changer is, and all my tools are like needles. So like if to get my head in to look at the vise, the same thing, like use a loop
Yeah.
to check an engraving or something like that. Like there'll be like a thread mill above my head, like a 1/32 end mill, and then like a .3 drill. I'm like, if I move up, like they're going directly into my brain. Like I will instantly
Yeah.
die inside my machine just by poking my head on one of these stupid tools.
Yeah, I was trying to
So
touch something off today, and the LK, you've got to lean so far into it because it's a bigger machine. Like, oh, my poor back. I was trying to touch something off with a parallel, and I'm like, yeah, like in the machine, trying to touch it off. It was a little bit of a schlep. But yeah, my
yeah,
machine's low. It's a bit annoying. Like the
I say if
table's
only
lower than I want.
if I had like some sort of like 0 point system where I could take the part out and examine it and then put it back in, like that
Can
would
you
be
imagine how
amazing.
awesome that would be?
It would be incredible.
Yeah, like wow. If only someone made something like that. That
Yeah,
would
if only,
anchor
yeah,
your part.
exactly. Yeah, I
Uh,
know.
yeah, like, but you'll get there. Don't stress.
Oh,
Speaking of
yeah.
anchor points, so remember last week I had the cunning plan of putting 6 of them in my machine?
Yes.
Yeah, that changed.
Oh,
I
okay.
decided to
What's
make a
up?
riser, use my current riser that I have, make another riser on top of my current riser to be able to get the thing level with the current anchor points, and
Okay.
then just make a big pallet that goes onto my riser with my 2 vases. Uh, Cheaper solution because trying to convince the guy that they need to pay me like 6 times the machining cost to do setup is not going to fly. So
Fair.
I figured I'd go this route, and then I can sell the anchor points. Speaking of, there's 4 anchor points available for anyone who's interested.
Jump on it.
Yeah, because the next batch is hopefully going to be at the end of June that we release batch 2.
Cool.
But yeah, that's
Cool. Cool.
yeah, we'll get into that a bit later on. And then I did a Q&A today. So I have a question regarding Linux CNC.
Ooh, fun.
Not question from me, question from, well, actually both. So have you ever had your tool offsets disappear?
No.
Tool table disappear?
No.
Work offsets disappear?
No.
Okay, I guess you live in a place where there's electricity all the time.
I guess
How
so.
fancy. Okay, so I'm just trying to pull the question up. Okay, so I've had that happen to me, and I have basically discovered that okay, there we go. Discovered that it's caused by a power outage at the wrong part of the cycle. So it doesn't always happen,
Mhm.
but if you catch the machine in the wrong state, it will lose your offsets. So your G54,
Mm.
G55, and occasionally your tool library. Also, um, if you go into PNC config and you output a new config on the newer versions, like if you edit something, it deletes your
Mhm.
flipping tool table. It generates a new generic tool table,
Ooh.
which
Yeah,
is
that's rough.
really annoying. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I actually copied the one in for Bertha, and I made a backup. So the question I got was from Fabtastic Creations. Hang on, one moment. I believe that's Luke, who's also our Patreon. Anyway, he has one of the APSX Nano Swisses.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yes, but Linux CNC will lose tool positions.
Okay.
So I think
That's
it's either a power cycling issue or
mhm.
he's not, or this post is not calling a G43 with the tool number.
Yeah, that would do it.
Because I know I modified both my posts for my lathes
Yep.
to throw a G43 in there because sometimes it'll work. Sometimes you T1 M6 it pulls it in, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know
Yep.
what causes the sometimesness, but yeah, that I think that might be your issue. I'm gonna pop him a message anyway because I don't think he needs to wait. Well, I mean, until tomorrow. Oh no, but yeah, I'm gonna just pop him a message and say this is what I think it might be, and in all likelihood, it is a G43 issue because
Yep.
I know that the standard Linux CNC post does not include that, and I've had it before where sometimes it pulls in and sometimes it doesn't.
Yep. I find
Which
that on my lathe. I had to alter the post to put G43s in because same thing. It would be like
it'll do it sometimes and it won't do it other times. It's friggin'
yeah,
annoying. But yeah,
yeah.
something to watch is the tool table being wiped if you're going through PNC config. And then also your work offsets getting deleted if you power cycle at the wrong time, or live in Africa and have the power switched off for you
Yeah.
because I don't know, they promise people free electricity and then stopped doing any infrastructure development and instead stole all the money. Africa,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Probably good.
that's also been interesting this week with. I know we're not meant to do politics, but uh, with the visit to the US of our lovely president.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, Squirrel Rama Pizza. Um, yeah, like that was the best during lockdowns when we had the broadcast to the nation over YouTube.
Mhm.
Everyone in the comments was like, "Post the squirrel to summon the Cyril," and it was just squirrels in the comments. It was freaking great. Like it was the best. Watching the comments was more entertaining than watching the actual address. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know that.
fun
I had a
stuff.
couple messages from. It's been very interesting to see how the different medias handle that whole situation.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, I think we.
you guys didn't give him an airplane, so that's not very nice.
Well, I know we're very mean, but we should have. We've got a bunch of spare ones since our national airline closed down. But yeah, I think we'll get a bit more into that one in the after show because
Yeah, that
that's tad
sounds
controversial.
sounds like a better place for that.
Yeah. So let's do all the shout outs and things quickly. So thank you to all of our Patreons who make the wheels on the bus go round and round. We've got Jade from Benchmark 20. Thank you very much. And Luke from Fabtastic. Thank you also. We also got a new Patreon this week, the one and only Dylan Jackson.
Oh, thank you all
Which,
kindly.
yeah, I was quite surprised by. Like, it's quite interesting to see how much reach the podcast actually has. But yeah, the Patreons all get the after show. And at some point, I'm sure we'll put a Q&A on there. I think we're meant to. But yeah, I'll harass Danica tomorrow and get her to put one up for us, or plan to put one up like a day or two before the next recording session, just so that we remember to do that. My lovely wife, the podcast producer, also asked me to please let everyone know that the end of the month is the last time you'll be able to buy the shirts that are currently on the JSpec ENG store. So if you're interested in any of those designs, grab them now because they will be gone. And there will be new ones from the first. So yeah, she asked me to please shout that out again so that if anyone wants them, they can go get them. But yeah. So
sick.
Let's be crackheads and oh no, we still got one more. Okay, we'll come back because that kind of ties in your last one there. Let's be crackheads telling people that crack is great. So the topic I had in mind was retrofits in DIY machines, the pros and cons. Like both of us started off with retrofitting or building our own machines, and we've now both got fancy milling machines that we didn't DIY or build. So,
right.
What would you say are some of the pros and cons associated with going the DIY route as opposed to the expensive route?
I mean, the two huge pros I can say are it's going to be less cash expensive. I won't say time expensive, but if you have time, like if you have a day job and you're just kind of slowly snowballing something, to maybe be a full-time gig and you have more time than cash, DIYing a machine is obviously great in that regard. And the fact that you'll know it inside out. Like if anything breaks, like my hard hinge especially, like I gutted that thing. Like I know every single part of that machine. Aside from something hugely mechanical, there's nothing on that machine I can't fix that I don't know about. Whereas my Sile is kind of a bit of a black box in certain instances because I'm like, well, I don't know exactly how this is wired up or programmed or coded or like. So if there's an error there, I'm not as easy. I can't quickly fix it. But at the same time, I didn't have to build it. So yeah, that's the main con is you have to build it. So I don't know. What would you say for your pros and cons?
So yeah, like as you said, if you've got more time than money, which in my case, when I was getting annoyed with my boss and starting out JSpec engineering, I had more time than money. Like I couldn't afford to buy a machine, but I could afford to spend my evenings at the machine shop making my own machine or designing a machine and wiring it up in my flat. Like there's always options. It's just money makes things go really easily, but it also comes with its own set of caveats. And yeah, the Slowio. I know everything on the machine because guess what? I made every component on the machine. So I know it inside and out. Same thing with Bertha and the MCO. I know those machines inside out because I took them all apart. And like Bertha, The computer died last week or the week before. I don't know. In the past, and I bought all the spares. It took me not even a day, and I had a fully functional, well, as functional as it was before machine, and it's up and running. And I think since then has made like two or three, no, made like 700 or 800 parts since I got it up and running again. Like it's a workhorse. But having said that, it's been super reliable, but I can't say it's as reliable as an industrial machine. Like there's always those little things, like I don't know, it's not as accurate as it could be. The ways are a little bit worn out. If you home the machine, you've got to remark your sizes. It's not an industrial machine. Whereas I look at the LK, like today I was running a part this evening and I forgot to put a fillet on one. Well, I put a fillet and Fusion decided to be stupid. And I'm like, ooh, if I remachine this, is my surface finish going to go to shit? No, it's not. Because the machine positions exactly. Exactly. So even like day to day, I turn it on, it repeats exactly. Like as accurately as it can, it repeats. Whereas depending on the temperature of the day, the other machines will vary by like zero point 0.2, zero point 0.3 of a millimeter because they're all using inductive home switches and steppers
Yeah.
or closed loop steppers. Like I was explaining this to Carl today. Most of the DIY style controllers, or pretty much all of them, they issue in a command and they assume that command has been followed. So if you're running a closed loop stepper, your controller is saying, oi, go one step, and assuming that that has been executed. The closed loop step is saying, oh, I must go one step. If I didn't make the step, let me try force my way to that step. And only once you're quite a way out, then it'll throw an alarm, and then your controller's like, ha, there's an alarm. But like that's you're making a lot of assumptions, whereas a proper machine, you tell it to go to a position, the servo drive says, "Oi, go there." Checks it gets there. Then the controller is still like, "Hey, servo drive, what is your position? Feed it back, please." So it's a very much tighter closed loop. Like even homing on most machines are done with the index pulse of the motor. So your limit switch just gets you within a rotation of the servo, and then it looks for the index pulse. And if your coupling doesn't move, it repeats as accurately as your ball screws and motion system will allow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, you get what you pay for when it comes to machines.
Well, and like also don't get hung up on like chasing like the crazy tight tolerances if that's not something you're initially going to need. Because like so many people are like, well, can it cut to this? Like, do you have a need to do that? Because my little wiggly little Curt milling machine has made me it's made me definitely it's made me more than $100,000, and it has not cost me anything close to that. And it does not. I mean, it does tight work, but you have to know how to do it on it. And like, I don't know. It
comes down to skill.
Yeah, you can make a lot of money on a machine that's not horribly accurate. You just got to work it. So yeah, you don't need a kern to make your whatever you want to make, your little, I don't know, 3D machine.
I literally used to do injection molding parts on the Slowio.
Right.
There's no reason I should have been doing that, but hey, go in there with blind ignorance and you freaking sort it. You rock out that white guy confidence, claim that you can do it, and just do it. Like we were discussing this today. It's like you just rock up with confidence and make it happen. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to the latest with Intolerance yet.
I did,
Rebecca Wolfing.
Yeah, I'm like 90% of the way through. So
it was really, really good.
Yeah, I like her attitude. Yeah, she's got a good 100%. Attitude.
Very good attitude. I actually tagged her in it's actually one of the things there. I was making Instagram reels this morning because AJ posted a thing about putting an aerator, then she posted a thing about aerator. So like, this is my solution, guys. So she actually, I tagged her and sent it as a offer to collaborate or whatever, and she shared it on her story as well. I'm like, sweet.
Oh, cool. That's nice.
Like, trying to build the Instagram audience.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the price of a bucket and a pond pump, you've got an oil skimmer and it doubles as a circulator for your coolants. Like,
right, yeah.
No brainer in my mind. I've got it on all my machines now.
But no, definitely.
Got stinky.
Retrofit machines. I'd say if you have a great product, you need it made, and you need a functioning machine, and you have cash to go. Obviously, don't DIY a machine. That's just a route to burn time. But if you're like pretty much, I bet you probably 90% of the people that have this idea that they want to start their own gig, yeah, buy an industrial machine for like pennies on the dollar. Sorry, I should caveat this with, you kind of have to know what you're looking at too. You don't want to buy like
Yeah.
just a piece of crap and then just spend hours to realize it's a piece of crap. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
in that case, the forums tend to be very useful. CNC Zone, and I know
totally,
Aaron
yeah,
from CNC Repairman did a video about that as well. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. His is good.
there's
Yeah, his is good.
there's a lot of resources, and also look and see if other people have done a retrofit on the machine. If you're looking at a secondhand machine, see if there's any information out there. The
Yeah.
MCO, I knew more about that MCO before it arrived here than anything. Like I saw what it was, told them I'll buy it, and then started researching. I mean, I would have bought it even if there was nothing on the internet, but there were websites dedicated to these little machines. There were other multiple retrofits, so I could have a look through and see what problems the guys had run into, what motors they had used, all these kind of things. That I had all that information. I mean, I had all the electronics for this machine here before I had the machine. Like
Right. Yeah.
I was starting to acquire all the bits and pieces because I didn't need to buy the machine right now. I could pay them. I could buy it in 3 months. And I said to them, if anyone looks at it, you phone me, I'll pick it up now. But I got all the parts together because it was a bit cheaper, doing it little bit, than trying to do it all in one go. Because I mean, when I bought the MCO, we were doing okay, but yeah, I needed it for some production work that was coming up, but I didn't have any orders yet. That
Right. Yeah.
machine,
Yeah.
I got it running, and it paid for itself the following month, and
Yeah.
has since regularly paid for itself in a month.
Yeah.
Like even
Yeah. No.
Bertha is hilarious. Bertha pays for herself pretty much every month.
Yeah.
Bertha,
No.
like I recoup the entire cost of that machine in a month because in total it cost me like $2,000 or $2,500.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
obviously, I did that on a budget because I was poor at the time, but I did it on a very strict budget or a very tight budget, made it work, and it ran like that. The first things to start failing were the X-axis drive, which kind of expected, and then the PC, which was a free PC from an old lady that I used to live with when I moved up to Joburg.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You
Like,
can't complain about that. Yeah.
yeah, like that PC also had no reason to still be freaking working. And the last 5 years, it's been running pretty much flawlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same
So I
thing
think,
happened
yeah.
on my other machine.
Yeah. It just boils down to your budget and time and whatever you
Yeah,
have more of, more time, more money. It's like
yeah,
nowadays,
that's it.
would I buy another project machine, with the one exception of potentially a used Swiss, because just Swisses are insanely expensive. But like I had an option. I had an option to buy basically a Swiss with no parameters on it, which is a death sentence for Swisses. But it was like
Yeah,
$2,000 and it's close to me. And I had to pass on it, even though that hurt my soul to do. But other than that, like if I buy a machine, it's basically got to function at this point because I have
yeah,
less time than I have money. But yeah.
yeah. That is a tough one to deal with. Like, it's great
Yeah.
to have more money than time, but I think you and I both enjoy the projects.
That's the issue too. Like that's why we're heroin addicts in this regard, is just because like
Yes.
we both like it. Like if I had all the money in the world, I would still be interested in building and retrofitting machines because I find
Yeah.
it enjoyable. Like that's something I enjoy. If I had 70 hours in a day, I would do this for what I need to do, and then I would spend
Yeah.
the rest of it just pissing around with machines because I enjoy it. It lights up my brain.
Well, I'm very curious because you've got a thing here about the print and see.
Yeah. So speaking of doing drugs, I, I came across the print and see like forever ago, and it's basically just like a printed router, like 3D printed parts on a router. It's designed fairly well, ball screws, like they did it well, linear rails, like it's not just a cobbled together unit. But then people use that to machine aluminum parts to start building out a router that's actually usable for like machining. Like there's videos of it machining stainless, there's videos of it machining aluminum, and it's like I kind of want to build like a Datron-esque machine, maybe like a 2 foot by 2 foot footprint, so I can function as a router and do kind of like routery work. But if I still want to push some aluminum jobs onto it, I could use it to do like, let's say the semi-finishing on a big aluminum job would be, not that I'm doing that. This is a pure want. This isn't a need. So I need Jamie to enable me more. But like the problem is I have all the parts to make it. I just need that whole time thing. So once I figure out the way to get more than 24 hours in a day, I'm definitely jumping on it. Until then, it'll probably stay as a pipe dream, and I'll just scour the Discord and dream.
Yeah, I'm not going to encourage that because I kind of want a router as well. So
Oh, I know.
I'm gonna not encourage this because I will very quickly machine all the parts. And then I just have to buy all the electronics, and that's the expensive bit. Like
No.
I can sneak the bits of Ali into other aluminium orders that I'm placing. Like,
Yeah,
piece here,
I
piece
know.
there. Like,
Yep.
yeah. No,
I
I'm
know. I've already
busy.
been like looking at
I
linear rails
ordered.
and ball screws, and it's like, no, stay away, Curt, stay away.
You can probably buy a kit off AliExpress.
You can. So yeah, don't.
You're a bad influence, Curt. I like it.
We're both horrible.
So, Roger and I actually want to build a machine that we can do 750 millimeter wings on
Nice. That's perfect use for this.
for a DLG.
Ooh.
Yes. But yeah, I'm trying to limit the number of hobbies that I have.
Yeah, I know. That's
because now we're going into winter, so fishing is going to become a bit of a shitty hobby. So boat building is going to be my hobby because I want to modify my boat a whole lot. And then in the room over there somewhere, there's a Archon, which is a float plane. So
cool. Okay.
Water plane. Got it from Rog. I want to put in a autopilot system and then go start flying FPV with a plane again. I mean, I have all the stuff. I may as well do something with it. So yeah, just again, something to break away from the workshop.
Yeah.
Because we went. So I went fishing on Sunday morning, as everyone knows, because I like talking about it. In my beautiful pink top. I was told to use Danica's hat next time, not my hat, my toolpath hat, because her one is pink and then it'll color match. Danica pointed out that why would I color match anything when my shirt's pink, my shoes are green, my pants are like Lumo yellow, like nothing matched in my outfit. So she's like, why would you bother matching your hat? I was like, oh, fair enough. But yeah, I went fishing and then I came back and I promised Danica would take the dogs for a walk. So we went down to a place down the road from us. Normally this is going to seem cheap because I live in the land of the cheap, apparently. Normally it's 50 Rand, so $2.70 for access to the park. So it's a pay to go walk in their place. And there were three of us, and the guy's like, hang on, it's 150 Rand for the three of you, or it's 150 Rand for a ticket that gets you 10 entries. So we bought the 10, then it becomes not even $1 to go freaking walk the dogs. It becomes like 81 cents each to go walk the dogs at the park. It's nice. It's trails through the forest. It's really sweet. So I think we're going to start doing that a bit more as well. Just, gets us out of the house. Because that's the problem is if you're working from home, you get stuck here. It's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, totally.
Last week I drove around quite a bit. I had to go pick up a boat and go see customers and things. And like today, I had to quickly shoot to Alberton. It's a 15-minute drive away. Tomorrow morning, I've got to go there again. But you kind of end up just stuck in the garage all day.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to start walking the doggos more. Hopefully Drax will become less of a freaking potato.
Yeah, that is a problem with work. I mean, like me, you're one adult I talk to my wife, and you're the only two adults I talk to on a regular basis. Like otherwise I'm talking to a 1.5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And my dog,
they don't do the best conversation.
No, I mean their conversations are fantastic, but they're not they're not the same
Super
level.
Stimulating, yeah.
Yeah, they're very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's something to be aware of. Like there was something they touched on with intolerance was the whole mental health thing of working in a shop. Like, got to look after one's mental health.
Yeah, totally. No, exactly.
Yeah, because it's very easy to just go spend the whole day in the garage and you have fun doing it. But I mean, even Adam the Machinist, he started his YouTube channel just so that he could keep the ability to articulate highly detailed concepts because he wasn't speaking to anybody and he felt like he was losing that ability.
Yeah, I'm thankful for people like him that do that, like him and Robin and Tom and like all these guys that do like fantastic YouTube videos just because they want to, and they're sharing their knowledge that otherwise they're just going to die with. And they're benefiting. Like everyone benefits from it. It's fantastic. So
that's I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't normally listen. Well, I'm subscribed to him. I listen to anything that like with someone I'm interested in listening to.
Same,
I was listening to a podcast the other day and it finished. And then because he's sponsored by Spotify, his podcast always plays next. And if I'm busy, I'll leave it to play. And then I heard a laugh. And I'm like, hang on. It's Jimmy Carr. His podcasts with Joe Rogan are the best.
Okay.
They talk a little bit about comedy, but about everything else. And super,
Mm.
super interesting to listen to. And they were saying like the whole thing of being successful is what's it? It was um, there was there was success, and then in regard there were two different things, like when you die, what people say about you, and when you're alive, what people say about you.
Mm.
And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, very interesting. Like, so yeah, having kids is not the be all end all, but yeah, it was interesting, especially with what's going on behind the scenes. There's a very interesting take on that I fucking, but yeah, that podcast was all over the show, like
Mm.
religion and fucking, everywhere. Like yeah, that podcast tends to go all over the show. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, same with I cherry pick. Yeah, I cherry pick like the
Yeah,
physicists and like I do that. I'll listen to the
physicists.
ones
Yeah,
with him, like him and Duncan. I dig Duncan Trussell, so I'll listen to him with him just
yeah,
rant with him. But most of them I just kind of skip nowadays. I mean, you're a little too
yeah.
broy for me, but
Yeah, I used to listen to him quite a lot. Now it's like, nah, if it's not
same.
manufacturing, I don't really listen to it. Like, I've got my
Yeah.
list of podcasts. Like, we had Lean Built this morning, and then
Yep, that was a good one actually.
finished
Just recently.
Making It. Yeah. I listened to Making It, which is Bob from I Like to Make Stuff,
Yep.
the guy from Making It, and Jimmy DiResta. And that's quite entertaining. That's part of my
Yeah.
weekly routine, is that one and the WAN show, which I didn't finish this week. Sorry, the Taiwan show, because they were in Taiwan.
Ah,
Yeah, those oaks. That's interesting. They were at one of the big tech shows of the year. It was quite interesting
hmm.
to hear their takes on stuff. But yeah, that's why does
Well,
this thing sound funny?
I
My printer sounds funny.
say
I've
we're
been
nearing
leaving it
the
unattended.
nearing the
Yeah,
end of the
what
hour.
time to
Should
pull
I
out
do
the
the
Google box? What
time
have
to
you
pull
been
out the
Googling?
Googles? So I've actually a couple cool things. So I was looking at like single once again from the print NC world. I was looking at like indexable single flute cutters to put on like uh not monocrystalline diamond
Ooh, PCD,
what PCD, but
polycrystalline.
Or MCD as well. The
Yeah, MCD,
spendy ones.
monocrystalline.
Just
Yeah,
yeah, just to get like stupid finishes on aluminum. So I was looking up some of those tools, looking up some spindle speeders, not spindle speeders, I should say, in taper air powered spindles. So these are between 40,000 and 90,000 RPM, which are super sick. These ones are made by the website anyways is nationaltoolsales.com. And they have an external air because most of them are through spindle,
yeah.
like the tiny ones, and I don't have through air in a reliable sense. So these ones are external air, which would kind of you can put a little mount on your spindle so it can still tool change. But yeah,
Yeah.
90,000 RPM, no torque, but I mean you're not going to be
You
running.
don't need torque.
You're not running a big tool at 90,000 RPM.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's six.
Unless
It's
you're
6 grand.
Titan. Then it's a forged face spindle.
Yeah, yeah. It's 6 grand for that, but I mean, still something to consider.
Yeah.
So kind of tweaking with those, and then lastly is looking up some filter oil, or looking at Filter Mist, which is actually the same company, Royal, but Sile
Okay.
carries Filter Mist, and I still have that credit. They gave me a price for the probes and whatnot, but I don't know if I'm going to benefit from that as much as I think I am, just because I don't like so much of
Yeah.
my work is production. So I think I might just get a couple big oil mist units for my machines and
Okay.
just I got to buy one eventually. I have a quote for a Misfit, but it's like 7 grand. It's like top of the
Yeah.
line, and it's sized for like all my machines in here, and it's got like HEPA filters and everything, and they are kind of the cream of the crop when it comes to that. But I kind of want to use some of that credit to buy something, so yeah, I might do that. But
I wanted to ask you about the fan above your head,
oh yeah,
your
this
air
one here.
filter thing. Yeah. Yeah. I need to find out some details on that. I know you did. Did you post a video about it?
I don't know. Yes, I think I did.
You did. Okay. I'll go look for it on your channel. I need to do something similar. I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot of residue on the tops of my machines. So I think I need to
Yeah.
just build something similar and just filter my air in the entire workshop. The problem we run into, furnace filters are not a thing in South Africa because
That would do
nobody
it.
has
Yeah,
furnaces because it's hot as hell.
totally.
So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge to find filters for them, but I'm sure I'll manage to find some. I was gonna buy some box fans and make myself a box fan thing in the middle of the workshop to just try filter stuff out of the
Totally.
air. I think it'll be
Yeah, like
worth the endeavor.
the color those filters get. I mean, I keep my furnace running just cycling air in here, and I look like
Yeah.
you look at the filter of that thing, and you're like, oh, like that could be in my lungs. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So the Bertha, when I did Bertha, I bought a roll of like disposable towel stuff that's over the air inlet, and it's the best. You put it
mm,
down every few weeks or so, and it's just friggin' caked with brown. I'm like,
yeah.
ew. Like the LK's got filters on the back. It's pretty well. The back of it's pretty well insulated. I've now put a lid on it to try and get as little spray out as possible. But yeah, I've
Mm,
noticed on the top of the machines it's not super tasty. So I want to try and mitigate that. So that's on the list of things I want to do.
nice.
Yeah.
What's in your Google searches
Uh,
that
as
you can tell
usual,
us about?
Wordle 53,
Ooh,
almost
getting
there.
up there.
Yeah, getting
Yeah.
up there. Um, then I was looking up silver PETG, looking up what the active ingredients in my fancy ginger tea things are because I'm still a bit sick and trying to kick that. So I just wanted to know what the active ingredient was. It's a shitload of paracetamol. Rand dollar, looking at how depressing that is. Just want to quickly see how depressing it is because I checked it this morning. It hasn't gone that much worse. Yeah, it actually went up by 2 whole Rand cents, which is basically nothing. Then I was looking up how many amps I can put through a 8 millimeter square wire
Oh,
because building a
yeah.
battery. So I kind of want to know how many amps I need. Looking for chargers, looking up horse riding place for my lovely wife because she wants to ride a horse again.
Oh, nice.
Looking up muskies, which we don't get here, but we're watching a video about catching muskies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then looking for a large tablecloth cover, or not table cover, like outdoor table cover to cover my
Mm.
boat.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Yeah, like easy, just buy it, the elastics on the boat, sorted, boat's covered. So yeah,
I
that's
guess.
all
Yeah.
that's in all my googly things.
Fun.
Nothing too crazy this week. Like, yeah, and trying to get my home assistant unbroken has been a bit annoying. But now I have a light switch on the thing that'll work without being connected to the network, so I can poke it with a broom. That is a big upgrade.
Well, maybe it caused you frustrations with Home Assistant, but I will say it is very nice to be talking to you on a high speed connection where we don't
Oh
have
yes,
latency. It is so much easier to have a conversation.
yeah. No, Danica was swearing at my computer today. She was in the workshop. For some reason, my PC connected to my neighbor's network
Oh,
because I have his
nice.
password. So I connected to it when we had no internet. And yeah, it was sluggish as hell. So I unremembered it so that it doesn't auto connect to it. Because yeah, it should. I've like so I came and changed my DNS settings on this router. Then my workshop internet broke, so I need to go and just give that a static IP tomorrow, and then it should all be sorted out. Hopefully, otherwise it's
Sick.
hop networks to push things to drives, and it's a bit tedious. But I'm sure I will get that resolved because everything's on a different subnet because I'm special, and yeah, we'll leave it at I'm special.
Perfect.
Yeah, networking is annoying as hell. So yeah, wait, where's the? Sorry, I'm trying to find where to. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So, what are you up to today, Kurt? Oh no, calls of action first. Calls to action. Where can people find your things?
Confoundermachine.com. I have the lottery open for the Canada pens. You'll probably catch it for a few hours before it closes. It closes on Tuesday when clock strikes midnight. And Wednesday, we're going to start pulling names. So I only have like 147 or something like of those that I'm
Okay,
making. And then they'll be gone. So yeah, jump on that if you want any more information. How about you?
nice. Yeah, you can find me at jspeceng.com or jspec_engineering on Instagram. We've got some anchor points in stock still. Those will hopefully be sold very soon. And yeah, the shirts on the website will be disappearing at the end of the month. So jump on it now because I think next podcast they will no longer be on the website and the new designs will be there, which I will hopefully be
Ooh.
modeling this week on Instagram. If I can
Ooh.
convince my wife to actually make me t-shirts. Um, I've been trying for like 6 months to get new shirts out of her. And also
Mm,
my jumpers. I want them on the jumpers because it's now winter and I wear a jumper all day because it's a bit chilly in my workshop.
jumper.
Jumper, yeah. It's the British word
Jumpers.
for it. It's a sweater. Fucking a springer. Let's offend all the Afrikaans people that listen, all one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but yeah. Or maybe now that they're in the US, they'll listen to it because a whole bunch of Afrikaans people went there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, what are you up to today, Kurt?
today's just finishing, more of making my hands bleed, hopefully getting all those pens assembled, and then then I can start playing. And then I have a week. I give myself about a week to play, so I'm excited to get them done because then I can play. So, how
Yeah.
about you?
I am going to go sleep because it's the
Good
night
idea.
time. And then, tomorrow morning, I'm going to chat with John while I get machines up and running. I don't actually know I've got to go. I've got to go to a meeting tomorrow morning to just go sort out month end stuff with the one customer. They like me to sit there and go through all the invoices with them. It's a bit tedious, but it means I get paid. Going to go through to them, dump shavings, and then come back and do things. No idea what things. I've got some dimple dies I need to machine out of EN90 condition T, which is going to be exciting. But to do so, I have to put my 4-jaw chuck into Big Bertha, and that in my mind is a mountain, when in reality it's like 2 minutes and it's done. So get that set up tomorrow morning and then run off those stupid EN19 condition T parts. And then I think I might get the MCO running. I've got 1,000 parts to machine. So it's like 4 days worth of production. So I might procrastinate that just a little while I run some PTFE, because then everything I need for the month end for another customer is done on the MCO, and I can start running that job. It's 1,000 little parts, and they've got to go into the LK to be drilled and rigid tapped as well in brass. So we're going to see how rigid tapping M1.6 goes.
Ooh, I'm curious.
Yeah, it should be fine. I'm going to drill 1,000 little holes with a carbide drill, slitting saw the parts, and then tap them. Last time I hand tapped 1,000 parts.
That sounds horrible.
Drill.
That sounds horrible.
Didn't break a single tap either. So we'll see how it goes. That's also on like one of the small jobs that's just on the list that needs to disappear so that I can be less stressed.
Cool.
And then making stupid pins. I'm going to make a whole bunch of 303 stainless pins. So I'm going to go with the bolt cutters and cut like literally formal material with bolt cutters, sand the one end down on the belt grinder, and then face off like 3 or 4 millimeters to get rid of the pinch, and then just dome the ends. Like a stupid little job. But it's one of those things that I've got to stand and change the part every 30 seconds, so it's going to be annoying as hell.
Yeah, good podcast work.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah. Anyway, thank you to everybody for listening. Thank you to our Patreons for your support. And we will see. Oh, wait, you can find us on YouTube and Spotify. I should probably write this stuff down. YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music or Apple Podcasts. Please consider sharing the podcast with someone that may be interested in it. And otherwise, give us a review or thumbs up or star or whatever the rating system is on your appropriate player. But yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much to everybody for listening. And we will catch you next week.
Take care, all.